Hey, you guys, welcome back to A Good Things Marriage Chats. I'm Tiara.
And I am Adrian. Welcome back to the channel,
Welcome back,
guys.
guys.
Yes. Before we jump right on into Mr. Dr. Petty, Dr. The Petty,
Reverend Doctor.
Reverend Doctor.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Put all your thoughts, your comments, and everything down in the bottom. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Petty, go ahead and put them down there. We'll make sure that we can get an answer from him and respond and all the cute little things.
Mm-hmm.
So you see him. We already said he was here. We want to welcome back Reverend Dr. Bishop.
Yeah. Whoever that is. Whoever
I
that
was
is.
on the rock.
Right.
Petty.
Right. Right.
Welcome back. We're glad you have to have
Oh no, I'm glad to be here. I mean, I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to this conversation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk to you today about defining a healthy relationship because we know that, a lot of people, of course, everybody has their own relationships. You got two different souls in their own space and how they've grown up, what they've learned, what they're accustomed to, what they've agreed on, what they accept, what they receive, how they love each other, all these things. But I still think that there's certain, or maybe at least some pointers that we can help to direct couples on what healthiness looks like in a relationship, because sometimes we know sometimes people can get complacent or they can feel like, well, our thing is our thing and I'm cool with it. I think we fine. So who says? And we also know on the flip side of that somebody could look at things based off what they've seen on TV or only what they've only seen off of watching a show or a movie or other people's relationships. So in your opinion, we want to talk about what a healthy relationship looks like. Some standards.
Okay. Well, the very first thing drives everything else, and that is self-denial. Self-denial drives everything else because self-denial says it's not about me personally. So now I become subject to the relationship. So the relationship is bigger than both individuals. So that's where self-denial comes in. So that as a result, neither can dominate the other, because then you have a controlling relationship if one's dominating the other one. So it has to be self-denial. So self-denial looks like I'm going to outserve you.
That's good.
Okay, so that's where it all springs from. When I understand self-denial, because it says I'm going to outserve you, that the servant themselves is focusing on who they're going to serve, not who and how it's going to serve them.
Yeah. So to someone who may be, because I think a lot of times because of things that we've seen in our culture, or just maybe bad bad previous relationships or whatever, which you shouldn't bring those things in your current, but someone may be a little apprehensive about a certain level of vulnerability because they don't want to feel like they're being taken advantage of, or they don't want to feel like they're being rolled over like a doormat, or sometimes we can even get in our own head about, because even though we're talking about both serving, we know that each partner serves in different ways. Because the way I serve you may be what I think you need or what I would want, but it may not be necessarily what you need or want in a particular moment, situation, or whatever. So what would you say to someone who is in a current marriage that doesn't feel completely safe with, I'm going to just serve you with no expectation, serve you with my whole heart because I love you, and not worrying about what I'm not going to get.
Okay. All right. So I would answer that two different ways. One, I can't appropriately serve you unless you tell me how.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll arbitrarily come up with a conclusion of something because I think that's what it ought to be. But the only way I can adequately do that, I need to get clarification from you. So that really being it. Now, the other part too, when you talk about vulnerability and whether or not I trust this situation, that I really trust this person, that I could really be emotionally connected but not necessarily trust them, not because of something that they have done, but because of some emotional pain that I've never been healed from. And so until I reconcile that healing, that wound that's still fresh and open, although it could have been years ago, then I will not be totally vulnerable or comfortable with somebody else, because in the back of my mind, they might hurt me.
Yeah.
They might hurt me. So, and so you talk about bullet points. Here's a great one. Whatever you've not been healed from controls how you live. Because what you're going to do is you're in defense protect mode, trying to keep yourself from getting hurt again. You know, picture a cut or a laceration that you have on your arm, and you started out with a Band-Aid, then it starts to build a scab, and you're no longer wearing a Band-Aid because the scab now is there, and you know the healing is really moving along. But what you're conscious of, you don't want anybody to brush up against you.
Right.
Because if they do, that scab comes off and bleeding starts all over again. And now all the progress that's been made, it's like back to the Band-Aid, back to some salve, back to something else. Well, that's what it's like with an emotional wound. If I've not been healed from it, but I have not had to deal with it because I'm away from what I consider to be the source of my pain, but the source of my pain does not get at the root of my pain. So I could say I was hurt by someone, but now I need to deal with the root of it. How did I get to this place to be healed so that I'm not holding it against someone? Because if I don't deal with it, I carry it everywhere that I go. And so I'm walking around protecting myself from getting hurt again.
Yeah.
And although the person who I'm interacting with now may be the kindest, have no idea because I've not been honest enough to say, you know, here's a backstory for me, and I've never really gotten over it. Or I may say somebody hurt me in the past, but I still have never dealt with it. I'm just verbalizing it, but I have to get to the root of it. If I don't get to the root of it, it's like cutting a lawn that has weeds in it, and I cut it the same level. It just all looks green. But when it rains, those weeds are going to spark up, and now you're going to tell, man, that lawn isn't all that great because these weeds are up. And that's what it is like. It's that I can cover up my pain, but until I deal with it, it's going to keep resurfacing.
So we talked about at the marriage retreat back in September about you had us do an exercise where we talking about junk. Our junk. Would this be something that you consider to be part of that junk?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit deeper because we can call our junk our lifestyle. This is how we live. And this is what I'm used to doing. This is my routine. But when you start talking about wounds, the wounds, then now that's an internal thing that's totally me. Totally me. Totally that I have to be able to deal with. I mean, I might like a room set up a certain way. I might like all of those things, you know, like that. And that's part of my junk. You know, I don't want you to move this, don't move that. Right. But when I'm dealing with hurt and pain down inside, that immediately puts a wall and keeps us from having this very intimate relationship, because I'm in protect mode. I can't fully relax because in the back of my mind, this thing is still there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you were bitten by a dog when you were 4 or 5 years old, and you remember that.
Why you scarred?
Yeah, and you don't want to deal with dogs at all. I don't care what kind of mutt they are. I don't want to deal with any dog.
Yeah.
And you can say this dog has no teeth. I do not care. Still a dog, right?
Right.
Yeah. My picture is dog.
Yeah.
So that's what it is like.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Take somebody who has been molested and they've never told anybody, and they go around living in a certain way, and they've got all these things, and you don't know it, and then they shut down in so many different ways because you don't know. And that's that hidden pain that we have that most of the time we don't talk about, and unless we deal with it, we probably don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But if I deal with it, then I can talk about it and help somebody else.
Yeah. And
And
also helping your own marriage, because as you started with, part of being self-aware, it doesn't mean anything to be self-aware if you're not going to do something with what now has
Right.
been
correct, correct,
exposed. So it's not
correct.
like you can just brush over and mull over, because now that you realize it and it's there, like you're not helping the health of your marriage by holding on to it, because this is something now you could be projecting onto your spouse,
Right.
or acting out, or just it could be anything
Yeah.
that you're carrying.
Right, right. So I know of one situation upon others where a relative molested a child. Now they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, kept it all to themselves, or said something to someone and they dismissed it. And so
Mhm.
now they began to start questioning their own value. Was I the cause of it? Did I do something? And now that thing is in the back of their head. So when they start to engage somebody else, I'm wondering, uh, how do you really see me? Although I don't really know what the backstory is, but
Hmm.
these thoughts are still there. I wonder, do they know? Did somebody tell them? And can I trust them? And then you find yourself being overprotective. And so, just using that as one example, but pain, somebody always putting you down, somebody always telling you you're not this, you're not that. Well, then now I got an issue of my own value. And so I become protective,
Mhm.
protective. I'm almost in defense mode. I can't really relax. So you get to know some of me, but you don't really know me
Yeah.
Right.
because I did not fully invite you in to my world to say, hey, this is me. Or uh, I was standing before a group of people the other day. I said, you can ask me any question that you want. Whatever question you ask, I'm going to answer it. And I'm not giving you any restrictions. It said, I want to model transparency for you. So whatever you choose to say, I'm not going to tell you, you can't ask me about that. So if you ask yourself, how many couples are not comfortable enough to have that kind of a conversation?
Yeah.
I tell you some of my childhood, but I'm not going to tell you that,
Hmm.
which is significant in terms of what got me to where I am now.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So sharing pain, hurt, victories bring you closer together
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
because I'm inviting you into my world,
Yeah.
fully into my world. It's like, I never told you that. I never told you that I said I would never let anybody get close to me like that again, because I let somebody get close to me and they did that. And I'm really struggling with dropping my guard with you. I'm really struggling with that. For me to tell you that, and
Mhm.
you're knowing that I'm holding back in some way, but it was never communicated. And then I finally come and say to you, well, because the last time I did that, here's what happened.
Mm.
Right.
Do you find that a lot of couples deal with situations like that where something may have happened to one or the other and they just don't share? Like, is that something that when they are seeking help and trying to get their marriage to a good space, that they may come to you and you might be the mediator for that situation?
Right. They finally, they say, I've heard someone say, my husband is so kind, so caring, so compassionate. He goes out of his way, does this or that. But I find myself still hesitant, and there's nothing that he's done. And it's because I've been struggling with my own worth, because I've been put down so much. I have a great job. I'm doing well in my profession. I'm doing all of that. But down inside, I feel so inadequate and beat down. I'm not even sure if I deserve to be with him. But it's that openness that, so, when we're talking about the whole issue of healthy marriage, and when I say to you, it's about being transparent. Ultimately, it's healthy because there's nothing to hide. Think of a lack of transparency. It's like having an infection from a health perspective.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, today there's an administrative assistant where I work who's been out the last 3 days. Monday said I'm not doing well. Tuesday I'm not doing any better. And today I'm finally going to the doctor. Well, obviously, what happened over the entire weekend to let the person not be able to come on Monday and on Tuesday, there was already something going on until finally they said today I'm going in. Well, they were ducking and dodging what made them uncomfortable all along, until after a while it really gets things off balance. So just being open and honest is the most critical aspect of that, is to be able to say, I really want you in my world. Or then you got to ask, I put you in that room of my world. I said the vows I got with you, but I didn't tell you what was over there. But I did tell you what was over there. It's still like, well, sometimes it's like I'm married to a stranger, because I'm not really sure, because I hear you talking to other people more freely and enthusiastically. And somehow when we try to talk, I get a word here and I get a word there. And I know they're in you because I'm seeing how you're freely engaging other people. So that issue of transparency, of being open, the person who I say I want to be with, I don't totally invite them into my world. That is it. Because that opens up the door for all the other things, for all love, for all of the other things. And to just be able to say, hey, I'm not going to avoid a conversation.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you don't have any hesitation and reservation. Now, premarital will get at so much of that in the beginning. But once you get in and you're learning how to interact with each other, then you could learn some distorted patterns of behavior because of what's been kept from each other, which makes it unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because we've got these things behind our back that, I don't really want you to know about that. I don't want you to know I used to hang out with so-and-so. Well, okay. So now, I hope I don't ever see them again. And then they show, hey, Tommy, what you doing? You married? You
Yeah.
Yeah, and now and it's like, oh no, man, no. And then you ask, well, who is that? I don't know. It's some guy I used to know way back in the day. Well, how did you know? He sounded like he really was comfortable with you. I don't pay no attention to him. You already know something's up. Something's up. There's a story behind that that relationship.
Right.
That's the kind of thing where it's like, hey, that is really it. Now, because you're in my whole world.
Yeah.
You're in my world. It's like, welcome to my world. Let me tell you more. I don't want you to know about my family sometime, because I got some crazies in my family. And if you meet some of them, they may say something to you about me that,
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I have a normal family. We got some of them in it.
Right.
And like some that you say you'd rather not want to admit that you are, but they are. It's that openness, that transparency allows you to have intriguing conversations, find out more about each other, and then you may find out how much more you have in common in a different way. Because if you're opening up, then you are expecting your partner to open up as well.
Yeah.
So that now go on.
I'm sorry. One thing as I was thinking as you was listening to some of those things is I noticed it's not for everybody, but I believe a huge part of that issue is because people are worried about being shamed.
Yeah.
You know,
Correct.
not only when it comes to like family and what they did and be embarrassed by them, but they don't want that person that they care about or love to know this darker side that they once had or what they had to overcome or who they once were, because they don't want them to see them any different.
Right.
Or hoping that they won't judge them, I guess you would say.
Sure. But think about this. Think about this. If one interaction, one event, one person you've engaged to was taken out of your life's journey, you're a totally different person than you are now.
Right.
So it required those incidents, those not so great decisions, those people who you hope to forget forever, to have been a part of your journey for you to be the person that you are. So as a result, it ought to be, I just need to tell you about whether it's my checkered past or my glorious past,
Right.
because it all counts the same. Take something away, I'm missing something. And I'm not who you get an experience now. And it is me that you wanted to be with. So I don't need to hide me, because all of it is really me. It all is me. Or I'm going to cut off the first 3/4 of my life to tell you about the last fourth since you and I met. So now I only know a fragment of you, and I got the good you,
Right.
not the whole you. I need to know the whole you, because there are some things about all of that that's probably going to help me just to know better about how we navigate together. That issue of transparency, it just opens up everything. There are some things that you may have done that you found out that wasn't best for you, but if you had not done them, you would not have known. And it's okay for me to have that conversation, because what if we have children and I'm telling my children, hey, you know what, when I was such and such an age and I was, do I keep that from them too? Which is an asset as I'm talking in that regard. So those are the reasons why this openness, this transparency, it gives you the chance to grow together, to grow closer, to grow closer.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So I remember the last time that you were on, and you were giving us the 12.
12 steps of intimacy.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know there was one point on there where you were talking about dating and how you said that it was a waste of time. But I'm thinking in this aspect, if you're, do you like when you're spilling these things and sharing all parts of you, when
Right.
you do that, I don't know if you do it in the dating
Slash
phase
court.
or slash courting, or
Right. Right.
wait until you guys are getting close to being engaged, or like when is the best time to share like all of that?
So you're saying a couple is starting to spend time with each other and trying to make a decision. And so
Mhm.
you're wondering, when do you pull out of your back pocket the things that I never told you? Okay, now that we are going to get together, I need to start telling you this, kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so what I'll say to you is the decision should be made as to how much access you're going to allow a person to have to you, even as the relationship progresses,
Hmm.
because there needs to be some clarity along the way. When I said dating is fraudulent, but courtship is a better way, it's because you've already made some decisions about, I do want to spend this time with you, because I could impress you off your feet if I'm trying to do something else with the dating thing. I'm going to bring the best I got towards you to impress you, so you will stop considering talking to somebody else, because I'm in competition to say, I need to eliminate the competition because I need you to be focusing on me. Well, that's a part of the dating game.
Hmm.
The courtship piece says, I'm just committed to you and I don't have to do all these unusual things because I'm committed to you. And there is not another option for me. And
Hmm.
that's the distinction, because I'm not considering not spending this time with you. So I don't have to go through all of that, because you're going to have me with you anyway.
Hmm.
And so the more comfortable you become with me, the more you want to share with me, because you realize I'm not going anywhere. I'm not considering anybody else. I'm letting you know how committed I am to you. And what else do you need to know for me to show that? I'm going to be available, and my schedule is not going to be so overwhelming that I don't have time for you, because I have decided you have my undivided attention. And so as a result now, as we continue to make this ultimate decision of permanency, the more we talk gives clarity. It gives the clarity. Because I would not have gone so far as to tell you more than you should if you had not shown me along the way that there was reasons that your value went up. And so value begets more value, and then I began to share more. Because if there were red flags at some point, then I would not go past that conversation.
Right.
And I want to add too, I think, sometimes we can be prompted if we're staying like in prayer while we're in the midst of this courting, dating, whatever you want to call it, that sometimes we could be prompted for certain things that'll come up the same way. And you can tell me if you agree with this too, Dr. Petty, the same way too, that even when you're in the marriage, there may be something that maybe you really did not think about, or you just really pushed it for back as far as you possibly could because you want to think about it no more, whatever the case. But when it comes up though, are you going to share? Are you going to talk about it then when it comes up? Because now it's come up, depending on how long you guys were getting to know each other, it just may not have been a situation that was at top of mind. So it's just when it comes up.
Sure, but let me ask, what subject should be off limits? Is there one that should be? If this is a decision that we've made, is there any that should be off limit?
I don't think there should be any off limits.
Yeah. Right. But that's the part. Point. But that's the part. That's the part of what we say. Then, if I've made this decision, if I made this commitment, then hey, I'm fair game to have any conversation without feeling threatened by what you may ask me or uncomfortable, because you got my best interest at heart, and I know that, and I'm okay with that. So I'm trusting you with me, and if I'm trusting you with me, then I have to be okay talking to you about anything and sharing anything to you without having any thought that you'll use it against me. Keep it in reserve. I remember what you told me. That's what I'm talking about. Going down that road. Yeah. I remember what you told me 3 days ago. I'll never forget that. That's why I know it. Like, whoa, wait a minute. So you using this against me? Right. Then you're not who I thought you were. That's the reason why it's like, no. Self-denial is that I'm not trying to have some brownie points back here to use against you when it's convenient. Because literally, I want you to be at your best. And I want to be an asset for you, not something that you have to put up your guard to wonder, am I trying to find something to put you in default mode, defense mode, question you, devalue? Is that because you're seeing me as an asset all the time? Right. Yeah. And you say, that's why I want to be with you. That even when you're not having your best day, I'm still right there with you, being your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people get that wrong. A lot of people get that wrong. I've seen and heard so many stories just, on social media of young ladies that have shared something with a guy that they were dating, and they, weren't really like, oh, we're moving towards something more than this, but they shared deep, dark things with them. And then those men later brought it up and, threw it in their face and basically disrespected them, using something that was a wound against them to hurt them and cause them harm.
So could I say to you, they're not necessarily using it against them, they're being themselves. Those individuals who brought it up, that was a manifestation of their own personality. And so then as a result, they were walking out what they knew. And it just said the person who provided this information to them didn't get the clear read on who they were talking to.
Yeah.
And so that's why premarital courtship is so great, because your emotions are guiding you if you don't have boundaries in place. Now you're being led by your emotion. And so that's why the most significant part is the beginning of your interaction with the person, because you're putting a foundation in place, building that foundation. You're trying to get buy-in every step of the way. When there's some uncertainty about buy-in, that's a red flag to back away. It's like each step has got to be buy-in and some accountability to each other to be able to say, now let's add another brick right here. Okay, now it's brick number 3. That's what you want. And both of you are carrying that brick. It's not, I'm not putting them all in. We are carrying that brick together, holding each other accountable, because that's what's going to make it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, because then it's to say, who's with me? It's me. So my wife and I have decided, this is pretty funny. She said, all right, if you're thinking about leaving, let me know, because I'm coming too. So wherever you're going, I'm going with you. So that's the deal. That's the deal.
Right.
Get mad, have a fit, go storming out. I'm storming out right behind you. right behind you. We both leaving. We both leaving this place. So given that, don't even think about it. Just sit down. Just sit down.
All right.
Oh man.
Right. Because you're gonna end up in the same place anyway.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah. So that's why I like, let's establish this right now.
Yeah.
Let's establish it. Where are you gonna go? I'm gonna be with you. So why are you leaving?
Yeah. Hey, that'll eliminate a whole bunch of going to bed mad, any confusion about what I said, carrying over mad in my feelings, because I'm like, I'm here, I'm right here, ready whenever you're ready.
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, when you're done pouting, you know where to find me.
Right.
So you know where to find me.
Right next to you.
Right next to you. Oh, you don't want to hug me? I'm gonna hold you.
Right. Not even gonna give you the room.
Not give me the room. Yeah. I'm gonna breathe in your ear. He said, "What you doing? Breathing in your ear, so you know I'm not going anywhere."
Right. Well, Dr. Petty, before we let you go, I just wanted to ask you one last thing.
Okay.
You give our audience just some words of advice. So, what do you think in moving forward with having a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship? What do you think is like the number one top priority thing that people should work on, or just do, or what should they do to make sure that they're moving forward in a healthy way?
Tell what they have not told that they should have told. Is to say, you know what, I did not empty my bag. I didn't empty it. Here's some things I left in. I had secret pockets over here that I did not tell you about, and I do need to tell you about that, so that no more surprises. This is all it. I'm turning this thing upside down now. I didn't know how to show you this or how to tell you this, but I realized as long as I've got this over here and you don't know about it, it may come out in a way that may cost me, and I don't want that. So it's just empty everything. I need to tell you everything I have not told you, that I didn't know how to tell you, or that I should have told you. I want to be able to get it there. So then now you already know. It's like bringing in a cleaning company, and you may clean your house a certain way, but you bring them in, they go into corners and edges and everything else. It's some things they'll be finding in it that you never would have seen. Because they'll go around the edges and you'll be looking at dirty water and other stuff, trying to figure out, well, I already mopped, I already did this. And you'll be finding out they found stuff. That's what it is like. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, I didn't know all of this was in here. And they start finding out more about your mate to say, I really didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I wish I had known. You know, my heart goes out. Now it changes because compassion starts to increase in terms of that, and that's what it is. That's the whole thing of why it's so important. I'm gonna empty it. I was like, empty. In other words, I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a song that sang in church sometimes that's called "Empty Me of Everything That's Not Like You. Fill me, Lord, with everything that's just like you." It's like, I don't have anything else to hide. It's like, you know, when they do a strip search, when they were trying to arrest you, or you go through these scanners and they say, take everything out and put it right in here. And then we're going to scan you and do all of that, because it says, and then when you get ready to go to the airport, then they say, do this. They're going to x-ray you, although you emptied your pocket. They say, we don't know if you got something strapped on your body. That's the kind of transparency. Now think about it. We don't have any problem letting them take us through all of that. And we fully comply and cooperate. But then it comes to these relationships, we hide this stuff everywhere. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
The one who has our best interest. Now, I want you to think about that. And let me tell you this last thing. The last time you took a flight, did you go in and interview the pilot?
No.
Did you ask them their name? Did you ask them were they high? Did you ask them whether they were on meth or not? Did you even see them? Or did you go find your seat?
Yeah.
And you trusted somebody who you did not see, didn't know if they had fake license, didn't know if they were a terrorist. You trusted them, and you couldn't even get off the plane if you wanted to, if it's up in the air. You just went and found your seat and you trusted them. And here's somebody you choosing to live with that you don't trust. Now, isn't that an indictment?
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't even check. We don't check their credentials.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know if they speak English. If they had to say to us turbulence, and they use enough, are we trusting them?
If there's enough gas in the plane, if they checked everything.
We don't even look to see if they in there.
Yeah.
Right.
The host is saying hi, and we going to our seat. So when we ask, do I trust you? And I'm trusting somebody who, one, I don't know, who I may not even see. Now, isn't that something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now do you see why I can say, I need to go tell my brother, wow, I didn't realize how much I did not trust you.
Yeah. 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 That is so true.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That is definitely good.
So that's the emptying. That's the emptying that you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, y'all, we thank you so much, Dr. Petty, for joining us again today. As always.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we talk to you, you give us words of wisdom, words of love, encouragement. You're teaching us things, and we just really, really, really appreciate you. You know, supporting us, and us just teaching us, just pouring into us. We definitely appreciate you more than ever.
Oh, we are glad to be a part of this.
Yeah.
We're glad to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
We might have you and the wifey come on one day.
Yeah.
Oh, now that would be interesting to say the least. Oh yeah. Listen, and you could ask her anything. You could ask. She'd be glad to tell. I promise you.
Yeah.
She'll be glad to tell.
She got a lot to tell.
Oh, yeah, she would be glad. Oh, you really want to know? Yeah, let me tell you. Yeah. That's what I'll tell you for sure. So go get a pilot's hat and put on your husband's head and just tell him, I trust you. And they'll be trying to figure out what.
Because they definitely gonna be lost. Like, what you trying to tell me? Right. Well, again, thank you so much, Dr. P, for joining us.
Okay. You all enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Talk to you all later.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Like we always say, a good thing is not hard to find,
but it takes work to keep it.
Now, that is for sure. It does now.
It surely does.
Right. All right. Talk to you all later.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.